What is going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Live.
We are live with the music on, I think.
At least on our side, right? Not for them. How's everybody doing? Good evening.
Hello.
Good morning depending when you're watching this. Good afternoon. Good to you.
Good night, maybe.
I mean, we'll do the good night at the end, right?
Welcome, guys, to Reform Nerd. I don't know what to say anymore, man.
What do you mean you don't know what to say? Welcome to Reform Nerd, guys, where we discuss Bible, we discuss anime, we get into whatever topic you want to hear about.
Whatever you want. We're all about you, not.
Nope. We're about Jesus Christ.
We're all about whatever you want here. Today we have an interesting topic. We're going to be talking about Andy Song's...
Oh, we're going to get into a fight.
Another favorite... Andy Song has, like... the worst YouTube people that he follows. I mean, I'm kidding. I watch some of his stuff here and there, but I see a lot of dangers with George Janko, in my opinion.
You're just gonna go right into it, huh?
Yeah, and I want to talk about it live in front of people.
Let's go, man. So if you guys haven't realized, I'm the one with the controversial takes out of the Reform Nerd crew.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, although my view here may be a little controversial, but I'm curious to hear. Well, let's discuss, because I think you're more of a for and maybe a little bit of against. So let's take a quick look. I just want to share a quick clip because there are some people that may not be aware of who George Janko is.
Real quick, any cursing that we need to advise people on?
There's literally this clip is about cursing. So
okay.
Yeah.
So real quick before you go, so George Janko, famous YouTuber.
Give the intro of where he comes from and all that.
So this dude, famous YouTuber, dealt with Logan Paul.
He was on his podcast.
Yeah, he was on the podcast
for a long
Impulsive.
time. Yeah. And then he got kicked out because he was Christian. I'm just kidding.
No,
it wasn't necessarily because of that, but it did.
Yeah, and that's not too far from the truth.
It did cause a lot of conflict for them, I feel.
Yeah, and so this guy is what we consider as a baby Christian, right? He's still learning more about the Lord. He's trying to find more stuff out. He's trying to, he's building up his walk, and we're watching this live as this is happening. And so,
do you know how long he's been in the walk? Is it? Because, I mean, he talks about going to church as a kid. So.
Well, yeah. So he's definitely like a church kid. He's grown up.
Yeah.
He's a Syrian, I believe. So I like how he says it in one podcast. He's like, the Passion of the Christ? I didn't need subtitles because I speak the language. Saying that. I thought it was pretty cool.
So Jesus wasn't white?
No, he definitely wasn't. I think Jesus was closer to my color, but...
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know, bro.
You go with the African Jesus?
Yeah, I know, right? See, what's good here, Manny and I, we're on the spectrum of different forms of Dominicans here. But now, so this brother is really just YouTubing a lot, his own personal walk with the Lord.
He is very open about his
faults and
Christian walk, if you will.
Absolutely.
So I think that that's something that is to be admired. My concern is, and we'll share some of this clip, is that he doesn't prescribe what he is doing per se. However, I think that a lot of people look up to him and still take their cues from him.
But that's what I enjoy about him.
And I think that could be dangerous.
Yes, but I think what's awesome with him is just how he's so open. He's willing to admit when he's wrong. So that's also a huge breath of fresh air, where I think it's also helpful for a lot of people too, to realize like, hey, this guy who we think hasn't made is willing to be out there, to be open.
I mean, I think in the world's eye, he definitely has it made when it comes to finances, but I think that there's a lot to be desired when it comes to the way that he lives. And
but
we
he
can talk
openly
about it,
admits
though.
that, though. But yeah, play the clip.
All right,
we'll talk
so
about
we will play a quick clip here, and then we'll come back.
Parental advisory: hide your kids, hide your wives, hide everybody out there.
All that.
Bad.
So is it the word? Okay, so is it the word like F-U-C-K, or is it the intent behind it? Because you say he's a son of a gun, right? So is son of a gun just as bad as F-U-C-K because you had the same intent behind the word?
You're spot on. It's the heart. The heart's the first issue.
Oh,
just
my
as you
heart's
both have
fine
said.
when I say the bad words.
Right. But then,
Well, it's
secondly,
true. It's true. And now I'm not even trying to defend myself. I'm not trying to defend myself. I just thought I was representing God the wrong way because other people could take the word that I'm saying in a bad way.
That's right.
What if I have a sign that says nothing I say comes from bad? I'm just trying to find a loophole because stand-up comedy is so hard when you don't swear around.
It is.
It is
You're right.
so hard.
You're right.
And it slips out, and then I hate when people are like, "He's not a Christian," and I'm like,
No, that's judgmental.
that's baloney," as you would
Baloney.
say.
There you go. No. That's not a sign that you're not a Christian because you use language. No.
I mean, listen. They say the term is don't. He swears like a sailor or a fisher. Simon was a fisher.
Yeah.
Do you think he swore a lot?
I don't know. I do know that in Galatians.
Paul, yeah.
Paul,
Sure.
That's right. Paul in Galatians
Cut
talks
off
about
your-
all our good works are like dung, the sh word.
He swears.
You see those
sh
words,
word,
yeah.
dirty.
What's dong?
Dung,
Dung?
dung, dung. It's the same thing as shit.
Oh.
It's horse dung. Means it's horse.
Well, and then he
dung.
goes as far to say, "I wish that they would cut off their
testicles.
leg." Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Emasculate
So
themselves. Yeah.
he goes far.
Paul's a
You
bad
got a
dude,
loophole
though,
over
bro.
here, Jordan.
Paul's a bad dude, bro. You're right. I'm like Paul, guys. Just imagine they're like, this guy compare himself to Paul.
I have had professors, though, Christian professors. I had two of them. Really, really sharp guys. They both said to me, cursing's fine, especially if you're with non-believers and it's going to make you more approachable to them.
No, that's why I do it.
So
Hey, Jessica, don't even give me that look. Listen. Listen.
I'm not saying that's my position.
No.
Just to make
Jess,
sure.
Jess.
There we go.
All right, so this is one point of debate whether Christians should swear, should they not, etc. Right? My problem with him swearing is that, to an extent, because he has followers, he is in a position of leadership, right? So people are taking his cues from him. So at this point, the way that he behaves will affect others and that would include encouraging Christians to swear, use foul language. And the Bible clearly tells us to have our lips have our form of speech be seasoned with salt.
Yeah.
Right? So that's part of my problem with a lot of, not necessarily, it's not about what he does. It's about the people that follow him and the effect that he can have on them. Does that make sense?
I get what you mean, right? It's more of okay, well, if he's doing it, that means I can do it too. I get you.
Especially if he's looked at as like a leader of sorts. But there are several things around his life that are not very Christian-like, and I think that there are people, like I was saying, that are taking their cues from him. For example, he lives with his girlfriend, who is now his fiance. They had been, I haven't been keeping up with all the podcasts, but at that time, they were still sleeping together. Although, he was remorseful here and there, right? So even with him being a Christian, quote unquote, being repentant, he knows that he is wrong, but yet, he is continuously doing these things that are not right. And look, let's be realistic. I think that we all sin and we all fall short. Again, my issue is that he, one, is not a great example, and two, I think that a lot of people are going to take their cues from him and say, well, George is such a faithful Christian, likable Christian. If he's doing it, then why can I do it?
So this is a hot take for me, right, on the Christian side.
So, as you look up to heaven,
Right?
looking
Like,
for answers.
right? No, it's just I have a very hard time with finding the balance between watching over my brother,
Yeah.
and also living in the freedom that Christ has given me. Now, forewarning, this is not a whole. Can
you give an example of what you're talking about? So that.
Oh, let's give a perfect example because it'll go into the next point.
Yep.
When Christians complain about women's clothing, for example, right? Oh, women shouldn't wear or dress a specific way.
You want more spandex in the church? Is that what it is? What are you talking about?
No. So this is my thing, right? Like, there's some people that even criticize women who wear like skirts down like to the ground, right?
Yeah,
and it's that fine line between, okay, you're trying to dress modestly, and okay, I don't have self-control, so I'm going to gaslight you instead. And that's really more of what I mean. It's that issue that a lot of Christians don't have enough self-control, so they have to gaslight other people, right? So even if we get out of the whole dressing thing, if we talk about Christians who watch TV, for example, right? So Paul said it best: everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial.
Yeah.
So, like in my case, I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Yep.
I feel like for me myself, it's going to be way too much. Now, if another brother is watching Game of Thrones, I can't go off and say like, oh, well, you're not a Christian because you're watching that. I can question and be like, yo, bro, do you really think that's beneficial for you?
It's not a matter of whether you're a Christian or not.
But people take it to that level, though. That's why I bring it up.
Is your life pleasing God is another story. I don't think any Christian should be watching Game of Thrones, to be honest. Like, if you're not convicted,
No, me
like,
too.
I kid you not, more than 80% of the people watching Game of Thrones is definitely not for the story, and it's more for the nudity than anything else.
I mean, I've yet to see
know
that
what I mean?
So I don't even know.
So, I think that people definitely need to get off I question whether you're a Christian or not, because you're never going to be able to tell, right? You're not God. However, you can definitely see whether your life is pleasing unto God or not, because there are clear examples in Scripture of what pleases God and what doesn't.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Is George Janko dangerous? I think he's dangerous.
I don't think so.
To a good portion of impressionable young baby Christians.
I don't think he's dangerous, because if you actually care about his walk and with his life and what he's going through, you're going to see the progressive change that's going on through his life, right? I know, for example, we take clips at certain times and we post stuff on there, but Manny and I, we try and watch a lot of the stuff that's going on, so we get the full context of what's going on. And seeing George right now compared to me seeing him 4 months ago, 5 months ago, there's a difference. You can see that although, yes, he may be open on some of the sin that he's doing, he's still open that, hey, I'm still trying to figure out this walk and I'm still going through it. So if anything, I feel like, and I commend him more of being so out there, because, there is the perspective, or there's the idea in churches where it's like, well, everybody's there is perfect, all these other things. So I actually think we can learn a lot from his openness, especially to people who's been in the church for a long time.
Yeah, I think that I still think that he's definitely dangerous for a certain amount of people. I think that especially when you are in a position of leadership, I think that you need to be a lot more mindful of how you carry yourself. For sure. And if you don't know how to behave, then maybe for example, if certain things in your life you are you know that you shouldn't be doing.
Yes.
It's not that you're gonna put up a front, right? I'm not saying that at all, but at the same time, like as leaders, you have to. And again, like it's not his fault that he has followers, right? Like people just like him.
He started.
You know,
outside,
people are looking onto him, and I mean, it's just a cross at this point that he has to carry. And the thing is that I want to be clear. I enjoy and I love the fact that he is open, but I want to have a conversation about this, about how open should you be, right? As a Christian, right? So,
well, it depends who you're talking to. Right, like for example.
But wait. Before we get into that, I just want to finish this thought. Is that,
Do it.
You know, you are responsible for his 2000 and something. He's not responsible for everything that they do, but I think that a lot of what he shares, who he is, the discussions that he has, to an extent, people are gonna take their cues from him. Like, I'll give you an example. What if somebody tunes in, who's been following him, right?
Yeah.
And they only make it to the point where he talks about how he's still sleeping with his girl and he thinks it's fine because, you know, he's not sleeping with anybody else. And then maybe they fall off for like 6 months. And they're like, yo, like this guy's a Christian. He's doing that. So then they now implement this into their life. Yet 6 months afterwards, he's talking about how, you know, he's been committed to making her a fiance. They're not sleeping together anymore. Like all of these things. So you know what I mean? Like, you could have one last impression on somebody. You don't know when that could be. Yeah. And the example that you give and what you share could be dangerous to that person's life. That's what I'm saying.
Man. I struggle with that because at the same point, right, like, I'm not going to say everybody knows about the Bible, but a good majority of people, let's say here, you know, in the United States, knows that having sex outside of marriage is a problem. So I also have a problem with being so worried on every little thing that you're trying to figure out what you're doing, when it's like, you know, to use an example like that, whoever just watches up to that point and says, all right, because George is having sex, that means I can have sex.
Yeah. Well, he's a leader, right?
He may be a leader, but just because you may have somebody that's a leader that's still learning in this case, it still doesn't negate the fact that's already there that majority of people already know. So, like, if my son, if he gets old and he says, hey, my favorite person, you know, they're having sex outside of marriage, my job is to make sure that he knows beforehand, well, even though because this person is doing it, God's word still says this, and this.
But there will be times where you are the only Jesus encounter that a person will have.
No, for sure.
So let's talk about the other piece that I wanted to discuss, because this is very interesting. I don't have the answer to this. Is that he's obviously very open about his Christianity, about his struggles, and you know things. He's working out his Christianity on screen, basically, right? Is that something that we should be doing as
Merari,
Christians?
yes, he is a major influencer. 2.56 million followers.
And I say that he is a leader because he has followers, right?
He interviewed Andrew
That's the
Tate.
definition of
big.
a leader.
I'm sorry, rephrase the question because I was responding to her.
Yeah, my question is, he's living out his Christianity, right? Yes. His walk. He's very open online. Should we as Christians be doing that? And again, I don't have the answer to this, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it.
It's a double-edged sword because I feel like if more Christians would be more open about their lives, they'd think 2 or 3 times about what they're going to commit. Like, for example, you know, this is a prevalent topic. It's always been prevalent when you have pastors who are sleeping around with other congregants and stuff like that. If they were really more open about the sin in their own lives, they'd probably think once or twice before, you know, trying to abuse of a member. Let's just be honest. It's kind of like the live that we did, I think it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, where sin, you know, you don't wake up, I want to just kill somebody. You just build up the sin.
Jeez, you just went there, huh?
Yeah, 100%. Let's go. Come on,
0 to 100.
I'm extreme. You guys know this.
Should we live out our lives on the internet? No. Should we kill somebody? Like what?
No, but you know, just giving that extreme, right? We don't go into that extreme like me.
Yeah.
You go into it bit by bit. I think we do need to be careful, but I think we could see some benefit. And you know, and I'm saying this about myself too. I think we could see some benefit if we were maybe not so open with everybody.
Yeah.
But you know, having an accountability partner. or people in around that could be around you, and you can tell them like, "Yo, I'm struggling with this right now." Like you're my accountability partner, and I tell you like, "Yo, I'm having issues with this, and this." Pray
same.
for me, and and you check up on me, I check up on you.
Yeah, so the internet piece is just so new.
Yes.
To all of us, right?
Yes.
I think that being open with people that you trust, to an extent, your congregation, about struggles and things like that, I think that that's understood.
Yeah.
Now, the internet piece, and I'm curious to see if anybody on the chat has any thoughts on it. I don't know the answer to that. Like, we've never had this type of reach and this type of publicity, if you will, on regular common folk. So I don't know if we should be living out our lives like this. I think that to some people it may be encouraging to see like, oh man, like he is struggling with some things that I'm struggling with. He seems to be trying to do the best that he can.
Yeah.
To other people, it may be the complete opposite. He may be the excuse that they use to live a certain way. And I mean, the double-edged sword about being online and kind of just living out and putting out everything that you're doing is that you don't know who's going to watch and how you're going to affect people.
No, for sure.
And how do you navigate that, right?
I mean, there's a pastor that I've seen online. His name is Alexander Pagani. Very, very interesting guy. I struggle a lot with a lot of things, but I feel like I learn a lot from him. And something I've been able to learn off of him is just more of the fact where it's like you can't just get so caught up with every little comment, every little complaint online. So like this guy, he's a pastor. He's an apostle. He's opened up like multiple churches and stuff like that.
Oh boy. The minute I hear apostle, it's just like...
Well, he's a set one, right? Hey, he's opened up a couple different churches. And like anything else, you always use a lot of salt when you're listening to people online. It's not just, some of the people we mentioned, but even some of the pastors, you got to also vet them through the word. But it's very interesting with him because he's just like, well, I make content because I want to get my ideas out there, but I'm not going to succumb myself to an online community because that's not what God has called me to do. It's like I give you guys this stuff as just like additional things for you,
but I'm not listening to you.
Well, I mean, not that I'm not listening, but it's I'm not gonna take every little thing and morph everything around it, and so it's like I struggle a lot with some of his beliefs, but he's still a brother in the faith, and I still listen. Yeah. But that's one of the biggest things that I'm like, yo, this is something that I could apply onto myself. We can't change ourselves for every person, right? Because what are you going to say to the people that, think it's a sin for me to have this beard? What are you going to say to the people that think that I should be in a full 3-piece suit 24/7, or the people that think I should be in jeans? Like, there's so many different ways out there. And it's not that God works in different ways. This is just a lot of the times man putting rules unto how God works. Mm-hmm. It's about us shifting through that and really finding what is God's actual purpose, what is his will according to his word, and then how can I execute correctly to bring glory to God. Not so much what can I do to make everybody happy.
Well, you're never going to make everybody happy, right? So Rafi's saying, I don't think I personally would ever call someone I never met in person a spiritual leader in my life. I think that we may be the exception, Rafi, and not the rule. I think that there's a lot of people that take their cues from set influencers, if you will, online. I can see the pros and cons. I haven't seen too much from him, but I think if you understand what you are getting into, if your goal is to put yourself out there for God's glory, just make sure you are clear and be prepared to be called out.
Yeah.
No, yeah, 100%. I think that, even with the lives that we do, there's people that, comment and, they have disagreements with what we do. But I think that more and more, as I've continued to grow in my faith, so how do I say this? Like, I am still very stern and very zealous about what the Bible says is right and what the Bible says is wrong. Like, you come to me, or if I see something, I'm not going to mince any words about it.
Yeah.
Right? At the same time, we are imperfect people, right? And I think that we would be lying to ourselves to say that we don't make mistakes, that we don't struggle with sin, because we all do. We all fail. We all, at times, come short. God is expecting us to do something and we do something else. That's also part of it. To be honest, one of the things that I used to be one of those guys that's like, bro, you're not living the life that you're living. If you're living a sinful life, you probably should check yourself. You may not be saved, right? And I'm not as quick to say that any longer. I think that it's more about your life right now is not pleasing to God. You know, I'm just, like that. I've grown in that aspect of my life, because as you continue to grow, you understand yourself, you see others, you know, you're leading other people, you're getting to know other people, and you understand, like, yo, sometimes, like, you want, like Paul says, the things that I want to do, I don't do, and the things that I don't want to do, I do. And that is real. Like, people like David exist today. People that are true followers of Christ, yet they have seasons in their lives where, unfortunately, the flesh takes over and they lose themselves for a bit, you know? And even within that, they're struggling and they're yearning to please God, but sin has a hold on them for that moment. And God willing, they come out of it. But sometimes you look at that person a couple of months and you're like, yo, but is this person saved, dude? Like, yo, what are you doing? You know, so I've learned to be less quick about saying, yo, bro, like, you may want to check yourself. You may not be saved. And more like, look, man, we both know that what you're doing at this time is not pleasing to God. You know what I mean? And I think that we don't have to scare people into, like, yo, you may not be saved, or you lost whatever you want to say, right?
It's not our job.
You know, it's more about, like, it's clear in the Bible. Look, there's things that please God and things that don't. And at least as a brother in Christ, you can, in love, help them try to see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, the Bible also gives us rules about that, right? Like, you know, there comes to a point where it's like, okay, you know, obviously you're ignoring, but that's not the purpose of today, right? The purpose of today is just more of really understanding that it's less about trying to prejudge if people are saved or not. Like, that's not our job. That's the job of God, you know, convicting them with the Holy Spirit as to where they're at. Our job is to be the messenger.
No, yeah, 100%.
And I think that's what we forget, right? Like, even going back to what you were saying or what Rafi was saying, some people, they don't have good leaders around them, so they have to go online.
Yep.
Like, you know, I have a friend who, that was the situation. They didn't know what church to go to. They didn't live around here. And, you know, they were going online, and after a certain point in time, you know, they were listening to stuff, and then it was like, hey, Andreessen, what do you think about this? And I'm like, I don't know about that person. This is my concerns. Here's why. You know, pray to God, see where he's calling you. And, you know, we prayed about it, and it was kind of like one of those things where this person was just like, yeah, I think it's time that I go, you know, go a little farther out to find a good church. But I agree with Chetty. We have to be careful with any YouTube influencer, especially this guy right here. Right here.
Oh, snap. I mean, to be honest, I think that if you can get guidance, if you can find fellowship with somebody that is near you, that it's, what's that acronym? RL, what is it?
What?
RL, real life, what is it? IRL? In real life, yeah. IRL, right? If they're in real life.
Oh, I don't use those acronyms.
Then,
I know.
You know, you should definitely err on that side than just following any you know, influencer or any people that are just regurgitating you know, a lot of information. Like, anything that you hear online, please from anybody, including ourselves, verify with scripture.
Yep.
Right? what was the church? Church of Berea, right? They
Oh, the
fact
Bereans,
checked.
yes.
They fact checked Paul all the time. Hey, whatever he was saying, we're looking it up to see if it's true. And I think that with anybody that you're listening to, that you enjoy hearing from, fact check them with scripture, and you'll never go wrong there, because the word of God is truth, and it's always going to lead you to the right place.
Yes.
So with that, I don't know if you have anything else, so we can move on to the fun part of the live.
Guys, remember, just always be careful what you're looking up with. I enjoy George Janko, but maybe my walk might be different than yours. And maybe it's
He's a little fluffy at times.
a little bit, but it's all good. He's a baby Christian, bro. He's growing. And I love to see his growth. But that's actually, real quick before we go, this is something that we should talk about just for like a minute or two.
All right, bring
is the fact that just because you can handle something doesn't mean that I can, and vice versa. And this is something that we should apply, with all of our other brothers and sisters. Like, even when we talk about anime and stuff like that, there are certain shows that, albeit depending on what it is, I might be able to handle that you might not be able to handle.
Yep.
Right? Like, exclude out the super obvious, super perverted stuff. But, like, I have a hard time with gore. And it's not that gore scares me or anything like that. I just struggle. So I can't watch, like, Tokyo Ghoul, even though I've been wanting to watch
Really?
it.
That's not even that bad.
I don't know. Just
Well, there you go.
A lot of the clips that I've seen
Yeah.
has always been just gory stuff. So I'm just like, if this is what this is going to be all the time, like Chainsaw Man, I had a hard time with that. I'm like, this is too much, man.
Was it any good?
I haven't finished it. I was only like an episode in, and I was just like, this is a lot, man. Like, I don't know. And like, to me, that bothers me.
Yeah.
But that might not be the case for somebody else. Now, this also happens in our walk, right? Like, if you see a brother that may be drinking, as long as he's not getting drunk, that is permissible.
Yeah, you can get a little tipsy, right, Andy? That's all right.
I
Get a
struggle
little,
with the
little
man.
warm in the head, a little.
I don't think so. Homie. I don't think so.
Oh snap! Well, I think that the bottom line is that you should always be sane of mind, right? Like, you should always be able to make a proper decision, right? That's what it boils down to there. So there are a few things that we want to talk to you guys about.
Oh Lord!
And the first one is cringe, the cringiness that has become cosplaying. Now, I'll say this: when I was growing up, right, going to Anime Boston, like,
as we're shifting gears, guys,
yeah,
new topic.
It was pretty tame, pretty chill, like nothing crazy. Like, you still had, your girls here and there dressing up a little promiscuous, unfortunately. But overall, it wasn't like too crazy, man. But
the last one you and I went to,
dude,
the heck,
I don't know what is going on with the anime fandom, and I think like that's why so many Christians are like, yo, like, what are you guys doing? Like, it's wild. So
it is super wild.
We want to take a look at a couple of oh, Shadi says something here.
Oh, we were just watching that too.
Okay.
Russell Brand, that was the guy that was talking about being baptized, right? I'm excited for Russell Brand being baptized. I'm excited for Russell Brand being baptized. He is a baby Christian who is very eloquent and has the potential to be a great spokesman for Christianity. I agree with that 110%.
Who's that?
Remember the movie The Hangover?
Yes.
Remember when they're in that one scene where they're like trying to smoke the Jeffrey? It's like the shag walls and stuff like that. Actually, no, that wasn't The Hangover. That was
I'll look it up.
Oh my Lord, I forgot what movie.
Well, I'm excited for anybody that's professing Christ. So.
Well, he's a really popular guy as well.
Okay.
So.
All right, I'll look up a picture later.
Yes.
Forgetting
Sarah.
Oh,
never seen that movie.
Yo, Forgetting Sarah Marshall is my movie, dog.
I've never seen that movie.
My wife knows. Like, we watch it every couple of. Well, I watch it by myself because she doesn't like. But yeah. I know who you're talking about now. Yeah.
Let's not talk about
that is actually surprising because he's been a very open atheist.
Yeah.
Although he's had like Jordan Peterson and a few people that lean towards Christianity. So
exactly.
people may have had an
Yeah,
influence
he
on him.
just became a Christian. He actually just posted a video about being baptized.
Oh Lord,
Yeah.
Señor. Let it be like a real one. You know what I mean? Like we've had so many like celebs come and go. You know, it's just like
Yeah.
I pray and hope that he really came to know Christ, and I definitely wish him the best.
Hans brings up a good point of Joe Rogan and him have been seeing the reality of a godless worldview. Rafi Daddy
Daddy
Yankee.
Yankee.
So real quick, before you
No, that's it.
this is
That's
about
it.
this.
No,
It's about this.
it's
This is
done.
about the
It's done.
cosplay.
No, it's done.
I don't think people know what cosplay is, man. Explain
What do you
what
mean?
is it?
It's right there. It's people dressing up as anime characters. My wife had the pleasure of coming to the last anime Boston, and she's like, "What
Oh,
is going
Lord.
on?" So
we gotta do a trip, the four of us.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to go back. I went once after like 7-8 years, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to.
I want Rafi to experience that. That's
But
what
like,
it is.
it's just the weirdness. There's a lot of like furry stuff nowadays. Like I just noticed a bunch of people dressing as animals.
That's not recent, bro. That's been around
no,
for
but
a little bit.
it was like it's definitely more than when I like went.
No, for sure.
And the other thing that I noticed, and this is like this.
This is my cue.
Thanks for joining us, Chetty. The other thing that I've seen, although if you wanna, be able to relate to some of these, anime folks, you may wanna, stick around. But anyways, something that I've noticed lately, this trend where men are just dressing up like as women, and these are like. Because I've spoken to a couple of guys that have done this, and it's not like they're trans or anything like that, or that they identify as anything else. No, it's like it's just a dude, and they just they find it funny or fun to dress up like one of the girl characters.
Even in high school, this was happening.
But it's like, dude, I kid you not. Like you would see maybe one weirdo here and there.
The dude that we saw with the bunny girl outfit.
Yeah, like you would see like one little weirdo here and there, but now it's like. Everywhere. And like I kid you not, we were walking through Anime Boston, and it's like every other person that we saw was like a dude dressed up as a girl, and it was just like, it's weird. I don't know, I don't get what the new obsession is about like this cross-dressing stuff, even with people that don't have the that proclivity of like wanting to be the other gender or anything like that. Like I don't know,
If I ever cosplay, it's gonna be a Power Ranger. Because you can wear the helmet.
Yeah, there you go. Cover it all up. But I don't know, man. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, this is just, I don't know. Like, when I hear Christians like damning like anime and anime culture, it's because of they probably see a lot of stuff like this. You know what I mean? And you're just like, what is happening?
I don't think this is anime's fault.
No, it's not anime. It's not anime perversing the minds of these poor souls.
No. People have already had their minds a bit perverse, and they're just using whatever methods possible to express it. I mean, that's
These are the Romans.
100%. I mean, dude, you laugh, but we're very similar to the Romans right now. So
yeah, I mean, we're definitely embracing all the weirdness.
It's a little concerning, but.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is very weird. I mean, shoot, this reminds me like in middle school and high school when being emo was kind of weird. And then that got accepted, and then this gets accepted, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse, and it's just kind of like, ugh. Yeah,
man, I don't know.
Majin Buu.
It's just like
don't click that.
I went to one anime convention, and then I don't know if I'll go back. I mean, like, it was kind of cool to see, to talk to some of, like, fellow
artists
and, like, people that, enjoy anime. Like, that was the cool part, but, you know, some of this debauchery, I was just like, yo, like, I couldn't bring my kid to, like, something like that. Like,
no way.
Forget it. Like, it wouldn't happen.
No way.
And it makes kids whiny as hell. Well, there are some animes, like we had a video that
here we go.
They're all just whiny.
Here we go.
This new generation's Dragon Ball Z has like the most whiny character in anime history.
What would you consider? What would you consider to be this generation's Dragon Ball Z? We can't say
there is none. Dragon Ball Z is still ongoing.
Oh.
I I mean, Toriyama did pass, but they're still continuing. I mean, the manga was still ongoing when he passed.
I could have sworn they stopped it though.
No. I think that I don't know if they'll continue it, but
so here's my thing: cosplay can be done well. I think we should show some good cosplay.
Yeah, right here.
Because
boom. Done very well.
Oh my lord! No, look up some good cosplay.
Look, there you go. That's also a good one.
It's better. It's not that
there you
bad.
go. There you go. All right, bam. That Power Rangers.
Yeah,
looking
buddy.
good.
No, look up some like.
Look, see right here,
ones.
bam. See,
that's a good one.
That's not bad.
That's a good one. Yeah.
All right, so one more question. Well, I had another one, but we'll see. All right, and I think this one we were talking offline.
We're gonna fight for this one, you know.
I don't know. Maybe we're on the same page. Who is or was the better anime? Pokemon or Digimon?
Are we saying purely anime? Or are we taking into consideration the video games? You gotta really
anime,
clarify.
No video games, because clearly Pokemon has the video games. So,
wait, pause.
What
the heck is LARPing?
Oh, that's like when you go out and you play like one of like the. Like you're like an elf, or you're like a warrior and a healer, and you basically go out into like a field, and then you're LARPing. You know, you're pretending. you are pretending like you're that character, and you're like, but it's more like
I'll stick to playing Final Fantasy.
It's less like anime-y and like World of Warcraft, and more like medieval. Like you still
Dungeons
have like
Dragons, maybe.
Yeah. More like Dungeons and Dragons, but you go out there and like you fight. And
I'll stick to playing Final Fantasy.
I would kind of want to do some LARPing. Have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons?
Never have. No.
It's kind of fun, but like it's too long. Like I played it
like longer than Monopoly.
It can be, depending on your dungeon master.
Oh, jeez.
So I played it a couple of times in college because I met some kids that played it, and it was alright. It was cool. Like,
oh my God.
I mean, I don't remember all the rules, but I didn't mind it. Although after a couple of hours, I'm like, all right, guys, like, can we do something else?
We'll have to have Aime help us out with that. Then.
But they were like, they were super into the story and everything else, so it was just like, it was too much.
All right.
So yeah,
if we're talking about anime purely,
just anime,
Digimon significantly better than Pokemon.
Let's do it. Let's go.
I don't want to go. I want to go to the new F1 arcade.
You think Digimon was better than Pokemon?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I will say that I would agree. I would agree. Although I feel like the emotions
was Pokemon
of Pokemon it could not compare to the Digimon side.
Dude, remember when Ash let go of Squirtle?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it was just filled with like all these make you cry moments.
When Charizard almost died and his fire almost went on his tail.
When he leaves him.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, I think Pokemon but see, that's the thing. Like, why would you say that Digimon was better if you have such emotions attached to Pokemon?
Because Digimon was more epic. And Digimon Digimon had some I don't know, emotions attached to it. Like, if you remember the first Digimon movie, that was actually really good because they're showing the connection as to how Agumon got with oh my lord, what's his name? What's the main character's name? I remember Agumon, but
the dude, his kid, his trainer.
Yeah.
I forget his name. But
anyways, like when you see the movie, they really did a good job building
Kite
up.
or something like that, wasn't it?
Kai,
there you go, something like that.
They built up really good emotion there. I felt like creating Ty,
there you go. Hey, Charlie,
my cousin Charlie. I feel
was
like,
close, Kai.
Yeah, they were close. I feel like as it progressed, it got better emotion wise. Like I remember,
which one was more Christian? Which one is more Christian, Pokemon or Digimon?
Pokemon is more Christian.
You think so? Why?
Because Digimon had like a Digimon called like Beelzebub.
So,
which is like another name for Satan.
Pokemon had Ghost, Ghastly, Calling on Spirits.
Yeah, they did not have
had a cross dresser in what's his name?
Oh,
James.
James. Yeah, but Digimon
had like this dude Brock who was just like a womanizer. I could go on.
Digimon had a Digimon that was named after Satan.
Yeah, but what was he, the bad guy or the good guy?
He was a bad guy.
All right, well there you go. It is portraying the truth of life. So clearly Digimon was more
and then
Christian
the animation
than
was
Pokemon.
better with
Let me ask you
Digimon.
something. Which anime would you let your children watch?
Oh, that's
Pokemon.
rough.
If you only had to choose one, Pokemon or Digimon? That's a tough one.
That is the problem is that Digimon did have Angel Monhans. For me, it's like I think of Pokemon more because of the video games. Yes,
No. Forget about the video games. Just anime. If you could only have your kids watch one, which one?
Digimon.
Digimon?
Watch Digimon. Yes.
I think I would have them watch Pokemon.
Really?
I think I would. Because if
VeggieTales. Hey, we got the Yippee account. So
listen, my kid knows who Luffy is, so I'm gonna win. Although
you destroyed him already.
Although I'm kind of disappointed in myself because I always thought that the character that my children would grow up knowing would be Goku. But since I'm catching up with One Piece, like they know Luffy. They're like, can we watch the Pirates? Can we watch the Pirates? So they're like,
funny.
So they know Luffy. So I don't know. I'm a little bit ashamed of myself there.
Pokemon equals dog fighting. Oh my lord.
Oh, there you go. He wants to be the very best, you know?
Oh, man.
So you would have your children watch Digimon instead of Pokemon.
Yes.
Okay. And the reason being?
I think anime to anime, Digimon is a better compelling story. I think the animation is significantly better. And I also feel like the consequences to everything is so much more severe, right? Like Pokemon is like, okay, there's this 12-year-old kid that's been 12 for the last 30 years that's trying to become a champion. Digimon is like, if they fail, it's the end of the world, bro.
I would have my children.
Digital world.
I would have my children watch Pokemon, but here's the thing.
Yes.
I would have them watch the 2 or 3 part Pokemon episodes. Because those tended to be the more like emotional, kind of like life lessons learned. I mean, there's a lot of good lessons that I remember from Pokemon. Like if you love something, you gotta let them grow. You gotta let them go for their growth. You know, there's a lot of
Digimon too.
There's a lot of self-sacrifice that happens. Even in the first episode, Pikachu's being a complete jerk, and Ash still sacrifices himself. And I mean, like that first episode makes you cry. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, man. I feel like if you have your children watch Pokemon, there will be a more well-adjusted well-rounded person than if they watch Digimon.
Nah, bro.
I think that with Digimon you're gonna end up with an emo kid. Think about it. Yup. Oh, look at that. You're like, yo, it registered in your head. It registered. You're like, yeah.
The kid.
Yeah, you could have right.
If it's like the later Digimon, then yes.
Oh, snap.
I think Pokemon had inconsistency due to catalyst of episodes or catalog. Yeah, catalog of episodes.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. If you choose the
they showed Ho-Oh in like the first episode.
If you choose the 3-parters, 2-parters, I think that you'll. I mean, there's no they're like episodic, right? So it's not like it's following somewhat of a story, but not really. Whereas Digimon, you gotta watch every episode to build it into the story. So,
bro, Greymon, Greymon is better than Charizard. I have to say it.
I think I watched that death battle here, and I think
I love death battle, man. That's so cool.
I think that Charizard wins at the end.
I don't know.
I think it definitely does.
I think he did too. I still think Digimon's better. But now when it comes to video games, Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean 100%. You can't beat it. I mean, I can't even name any real good Digimon games.
The PS1 had a great one. I remember my brother and I would rent it from Blockbuster all the time. And it was like a Digimon version of Smash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really good actually.
You
man.
sure about that?
Oh yeah.
Before we close. Maybe we should just do the experiment and rewatch a few episodes of each. But like, if you were to go back right, to watch Pokemon or Digimon, which one, at the end of the day, do you think you would enjoy more watching today?
Digimon.
Digimon?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe we should put that to the test.
And
maybe,
you know why?
Maybe we'll watch a few episodes.
Because I sat through Hunter x Hunter. I still haven't finished it. I'm almost done. That took 8,000 years to actually get good. Digimon is
2 times speed, bro.
Yeah, I know. Digimon's a little slow in the beginning. I think you have to get past the first season for it to start getting really.
I mean, Pokemon is just about the journey, bro. Just about the journey. Did Pokemon end? Can anybody tell me? Did Pokemon actually end?
Ash finally, they're gonna make another season with another person. Ash finally becomes he beats the Elite Four of whatever place he's in now. I don't know anymore, bro. To me, it's all about Pokemon yellow, blue, and green. And red.
All right. One last question. Because I just thought about this. Because I remember as a kid, right? All right. The question is, for a youth event or like for a kid event,
yes,
do you think a church would be able to play episodes of Pokemon or Digimon and then follow it with like a biblical lesson after? And I say this because once, shout out to Danny. Once we were having like a sleepover back in my old church, and I asked if I could bring my Guitar Hero game, and
Danny shut it down.
Danny told me that there could be some people that may think of it as demonic, so we really shouldn't do it. So, what do you think today, right? Or whichever anime, obviously, as long as it's not, showing a bunch of panties and whatnot. Like, could a church, and I don't know if even Pastor Chetty's here. That would have been a good question for him. Could a church, as a event, have like a watching party of a few episodes of one of these animes, and then parlay that with a biblical lesson where you would contrast with something that's going on in the Bible and draw some conclusions about it? No?
Nah.
Why not?
It's just a stretch. You really have to.
You couldn't watch Pokemon in
I could watch it in church.
Yeah.
Just,
nah.
Nah. I'm gonna say no on that.
You're gonna say no?
I'm gonna say no on that one. Nope.
Oh man, rajatabla over here. I'm going to have to bring back to Guitar Hero to inspire new musicians. Yo, for sure.
Dude, my brother and
Chat, before we go, all right, I need to know everybody's opinion. So, anime in church for like a Bible lesson? Yes, no? What do we think? I mean, if you would use it as an example, why wouldn't you just watch an episode and then talk about the Bible as, in contrast, the lessons learned in that episode?
I think there's a time and place for everything, and I don't think that's a time and place.
I'm not talking about a pastor, playing like a Pokemon episode, but I'm talking about like a Bible study or something.
Han said it best. I don't like to juggle with hand grenades.
But if it was at somebody's house, you would do it. It's just like you can't have it at the church.
House.
Wow. I mean, because God is holier at the church. There's more. God is holier at the church. There's more of the Holy Spirit in there, so you can't do it at the church, but you can do it at your house.
No, I mean, dude,
bro. I'm gonna let you guys sit on that and think about that.
Yeah, we'll answer.
Think about that.
We'll answer that.
What would
Monday.
Jesus have to say about that? Just saying.
Jesus will be there connecting his Game Boy to ours.
All right, guys. Well, guys and girls, thank you for joining us today. Hopefully you learned something. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Anything else? Nah, we good.
Go watch some Digimon.
Yeah, watch some Digimon, watch some Pokemon, and let us know which one you think is better. As always, we just want to remind you that...
Wait. Like, share, subscribe, send this to somebody,
Yes.
send this to people.
Yeah.
We are currently right now, so you guys know. Okay. Get out of there. Hold up. I'm going to go on our Instagram and just... We got currently Wow, 224 followers.
Wow.
And then
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot.
I mean,
For Instagram. YouTube with like 2,000 and some change.
Yeah, YouTube is currently at, if I can get there, 2,280 people.
Yeah, so share it, like, support us. Come on, y'all. Stop slacking.
Look at Rafi. Whoever shares your videos the most gets free merch.
We can come up with something. We got some
develop some
t-shirts.
merch.
Yeah, we got some t-shirts.
We gotta develop some merch.
That we can send out.
Yeah.
Well, once we hit 5,000, we'll do a $500 giveaway to one of the subscribers.
Yeah.
So. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. And as always, we just want to remind you that we must persevere. Peace.
Good night, y'all.